Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News here on Fox 14. I have one of the coolest guests we've had, and her name is Sherry Schenker. Tell us about McCune Market.
We own McCune Farm to Market. It's a small grocery store and cafe in McCune, Kansas. We focus a lot on locally grown items, anything from locally grown meats to eggs to produce, honey, jams, you name it, in addition to traditional groceries.
Okay, so before we get into this, I'm going to ask you the question that everybody always asks, which is, why is eating local beneficial? Aside from, just keeping people with jobs and things like that, is there a reason that sticks out to you as the reason to eat local?
Oh, there are a lot of reasons to eat local, but one of the main ones is the farther your food has to travel to get to you, the less nutritional value that it has. So, for example, if you're eating strawberries from California or Mexico, it was in transit to you several days, it was picked green. The nutritional value is not nearly as high as, say, strawberries that were picked 10 miles or 20 miles away from you, picked ripe, ready to eat, and just bursting with deliciousness, frankly.
All right, that's a pretty convincing argument. So what do we have here?
Well, we have some strawberries. These are going to be coming into season pretty quickly, and they'll be much prettier than these.
Okay.
When you go to the market to buy strawberries, whether it's at McCune Market or the Pittsburgh Farmers Market or your local farmers market that you like to visit, you need to take care of your berries. Please don't take them home and put them on your counter, because they're going to grow fur and no longer be delicious.
Okay.
But the easiest way to take care of your berries is to take them home, leave the stems on them, and give them a good rinse in apple cider vinegar and water. You can also use white wine vinegar, about a capful or a tablespoon, if you are one that likes to measure in the water, will work. But that little vinegar rinse helps preserve them in case you're not going to eat them the same day or the next day.
Now,
and then you want to refrigerate them.
Right. Well, I was going to say, I would usually just throw them in the fridge, but this is actually going to give them a much longer life?
Yes, this will give them, depending on the temperature of your fridge, et cetera, it's going to give them up to 5 days in your fridge. If you have a very cold fridge, it could even knock it up to 7. It just depends.
That's a pretty good time for strawberries.
Yes, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, any of your berries, you're going to want to treat that way. Berries are very sensitive and very fragile, and that's one reason they're so delicious.
I love that. Well, I think when we come back, I would love to learn more about onions, potatoes, and, of course, los huevos, the eggs.
Yes.
So don't move. We'll be right back here on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. All right, we are back here on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, joined by Sherry Schenker. And Sherry, we talked about the strawberries and how, preserving them can be done simply by using some of this wonderful white wine vinegar.
Or apple cider vinegar.
Or apple cider.
Don't use white distilled vinegar. It just doesn't work as well, and it can leave an aftertaste. But white wine vinegar or apple cider vinegar is actually your #1 choice.
I love that.
So.
All right, well, so next up we have here the layered onion. So tell me about it.
This is a traditional onion. You're going to find these most likely at market very quickly. And just store these. When you take them home, again, the key to preserving your vegetables is how you store them if you're not going to immediately use them.
Okay.
So leave them in the onion skins. It's not going to hurt them. It's going to be okay if they're there for a while and you have some lovely little green shoots sprouting. It's okay. You can actually eat those.
Is there a difference between these two?
This is a red onion, and this is actually a yellow candy onion, which is exceptional. It's similar to a Vidalia. Great for onion rings, burgers, grilled onions, whatever.
All right.
But leave them like this. So when you get ready to use them, of course, you're going to peel them, chop them up, whatever. And you can actually freeze onions if you don't use them all. The best way to do that is just chop them up, put them in a Ziploc bag. After they're chopped, throw them in the freezer. What I will do if we have an abundance of them is portion them out. These are small little snack bags.
Yeah.
You use a cup in a recipe or whatever. It's already in the freezer. Drag it out, throw it in there.
Now, what is the easiest way? We can demonstrate with one of them, but do you cut these the same way, and how would you recommend going about cutting an onion?
It's all what you're going to use it in your recipe. If you're doing onion rings, obviously you're going to peel it first, and then you're going to slice it into onion rings.
Okay.
If you're doing diced, that's different. If you're doing it for a salad, again, that's different. So
there's so many ways you can approach
It's
this.
just all what you want to do, and the flavor's still there. So it's gonna no matter how pretty it is, it's still going to taste good.
Okay, and there's no
So-
way that helps preserve it more than another?
No, it really
Okay.
doesn't.
Gotcha.
It doesn't. Another thing you'll see when you go to the markets, whether it's McCune Farm to Market or the Pittsburgh Farmers Market or Webb City or your market of choice, you're going to find potatoes. New potatoes will be coming into season before too long, and there may even be some sweet potatoes, red potatoes, or russets from last year. Potatoes store very well. So when you pick up some potatoes, please don't think that you need to use them within a week, because you really don't.
So this is a red potato.
That's a red potato.
This is?
That's a russet.
And what was the last one?
Yeah, these are sweet potatoes, which
Ooh,
are really delicious and actually have far more nutrient punch than these do. Russets, people use them for mashed potatoes. They make pretty good French fries, but frankly, the red potatoes make better French fries. These are great baked potatoes as well, as long as with your sweet potatoes.
All right.
But the best way to store potatoes, never wash them. Do not wash them. As soon as you wash a potato, it starts to rot, frankly. It starts to spoil. The dirt is the protective covering. You'll see a little bit of dirt on these.
Yeah.
You'll see probably more at the farmer's market. These have had a basic wash, but not a huge wash.
What's the rules on, eating the skin of the potato? Are there certain ones that are better to avoid, or does it really not matter?
No, potato skin's a potato skin.
Okay.
They have a lot of nutrients in them. If you like the skin, eat them. If you like potato skins in your mashed potatoes, throw them in there. It's not going to hurt a thing.
Okay.
They're very good for you, and they add a lot of color too.
And does one of them power a clock better than another?
Not sure on that one.
All right, we'll test that.
Yeah, I have to ask the science guy on that.
Love it. Last but not least, we have the eggs here.
Yes, farm fresh eggs. I think everyone wants these at the farmer's market. I get a lot of questions on farm fresh eggs, and there are a lot of myths out there on farm fresh eggs. Probably the #1 myth is farm eggs are brown and store eggs are white, and
Right.
that's not correct. The color,
right.
no,
Not right.
not correct,
Oh.
no. The color of the eggshell is actually determined by the breed of the chicken.
No way. Wow.
Now these beauties were laid by some Buff Orpingtons and probably a few Rhode Island Reds.
Okay.
And
What does that mean about the consistency of that egg?
it means nothing. It just determines the color of the shell, quite honestly.
All right.
But farm fresh eggs, everyone loves them. They're fresh. A lot of your store eggs have been in storage. So if you're making a cream pie, for example,
Yeah.
you won't get as tall of a rise out of your meringue with a store-bought egg as you would a farm fresh egg, because these are typically picked up every week. They're fresh to the market. They sell out every week, so they're great. Now, one thing about farm fresh eggs, though, they are difficult to peel because they are so fresh. So if you're going to use them for deviled eggs, keep them in the fridge at least a week and let them absorb a little air, because the shell is porous. Another thing with farm fresh eggs, if you forget and leave them on your counter, it's okay. They're really not spoiled.
Yeah.
If you forget a couple of days, they're still not spoiled unless your house is, 120 in the shade.
Yeah.
But do a float test on them if you are really concerned, and what that involves is just filling your sink up with some water, put an egg in it. If it floats all the way to the top, throw it out. If it sinks, it's still good. Enjoy it.
I love it. Sherry, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
If people want to learn more, where should they go online?
You can go to McCuneMarket.com, or if you're looking at your local farmers market, please visit the Pittsburgh Farmers Market, Webb City Farmers Market. Parsons has a great one as well, and there are several others in the area. It's farmers market season, so head on out.
Awesome. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.